Hi guys, it's Tamina again. So I thought I would sit down and do a story on my appendicectomy, I think it's called, and laparoscotomy, laparoscopic, whatever it is, exploratory surgery that I had a week ago today, and tell you exactly what happened. So basically, what happened was on the Friday beforehand, so this is 2 weeks ago, I come home from work and I had kind of like this weird pain in my back. So I didn't think much of it, and then Saturday during the day, because I suffer irritable bowel syndrome, I had a couple of bouts of that and I thought maybe it's just something that I've eaten or whatever. So on the Sunday we had Kaiser's birthday dinner, and family, Darren's family came over, and after dinner I was like in really bad pain in the kitchen, washing and drying up, and it was like taking my breath away. So after that the pain started to subside, and Monday morning I went to the hospital because I still had pain and it didn't feel right. So I went into the hospital, they did an x-ray, said, look, you're constipated, go home. The nurse that was on said, look, something's not right, like you don't look well, you know, basically she didn't want me to go home. So anyway, me being stubborn, I was like, no, nothing's wrong, I'll just go home. So then that was Monday night. I was fine, and then, well, I wasn't fine, but I still had pain. Then Tuesday I was the pain was on and off, and then Tuesday night I had excruciating pain, and I was vomiting. And so then Wednesday I went to my GP, and she basically looked at me, pressed on my stomach and done this this test where they press on your stomach and they lift their hand up, and if there's pain it points more towards appendicitis. So more towards appendicitis. So then after that I was like, as soon as she pushed her hands in, I was just like ready to scream. Like, it was really bad. I was just like and I had tears in my eyes, and I'd like pushed her hand away from me instantly because it really hurt. And I was like, oh, what's wrong with me? And the furthest thing from my brain was that it was appendicitis. Like, I thought maybe it was, I had a bowel obstruction or something like that. Anyway, so then after that she said to me, look, she goes, I can either get an ambulance to come and get you, or you can drive yourself to Nowra Hospital, which is a bigger hospital near where we live, because the one that we've got doesn't have all the resources they need to do operations or tests or whatever they need to do. So so that's our main hospital around the area. So I got Darren to drive me there, and we were waiting and waiting, so they thought it was appendicitis as well, and they put me on a drip, and basically they just kept on pressing my stomach, doing all the usual stuff they do. And while we were in there, we could hear, like, because Jayla and Darren were there, we could hear like this yelling, and this guy had come in and he'd like sliced up his foot, and he was going berserk, and he was like running up and down the halls, like screaming, refusing care, trying to get out of the emergency department. And we had to literally lock ourselves in the room because the room that we were in had elderly people in it, and also Jayla. And this guy was intoxicated or on drugs. And when we unlocked the doors and everything, they finally sedated him to give him care. And there was blood sprayed everywhere around the hospital, and I'm not even dramatizing that. Like, it was everywhere. Then they wheeled me, I said goodbye to Jayla and Darren, and they wheeled me to have an ultrasound, which along the way we could see blood because this guy, it hadn't been cleaned up yet. So I got there and he was checking my stomach and everything. He's like, look, I can see that your appendix is large and thickened. I can't really tell you anything until the doctors have a look at it. So then I had I went to a ward called the 23-hour ward, which is like people pre-surgery and after surgery care, and probably people in between before, like observations and stuff like that. So I went there, and then I never slept all night because I was in pain. I hadn't eaten for days. It was just horrible. I was on a drip, pain meds, and I just didn't feel well at all. So the next day, which was Thursday, I had a CT scan, which they pumped ink through my veins, and I had to also drink a liquid before I had it, which would show up anything in my stomach or abdomen, my body. So I went and had that done, and it took forever. And then I had the surgeon come in, and they're like, has anyone looked at your test results? Like, we need to know what we're doing. So she went and had a look, and she goes, look, your appendix doesn't look too good. It kind of looks nasty. I would say that it probably is your appendix. I can't say for sure until we go in there and have a look. So she was like, look, see how we go tonight, and if you are fine tonight, you can go home. If you're not, then we're going to go and do surgery regardless and take out your appendix and have a look and see what's going on inside you. So we went, and she went, and I sat in pain the whole night, and as I knew I would. And then Friday came, and they were just like, oh, yep, you need to have, doctors kept on coming in, you need to have surgery, you're in pain. So doctors after surgeons and doctors came, and nurses and all the rest of the crap. So I was just like, please, like, I'm starving. I wasn't hungry up until that point. I knew that my body needed food because I had like a splitting headache. I hadn't eaten for days. I was on a drip. But I knew my body needed food even though I wasn't hungry. So I was just like, please. So I think it was like about 1 o'clock, and they were it was really fast. They come in and they're like, okay, yep, we're going to take you right now, like in the next 15 minutes to surgery, emergency surgery. You're first on the list. So I was like, all right, sweet. So I was all for it, thinking that it would make me feel better. So they prepped me and everything like that. And the weird thing they done, which I found quite funny, is they put betadine and like an alcohol swab in your belly button, and they cover it up to kill all the germs in there, because it's like the dirtiest part of your body, they reckon. And so I found that quite funny. So they did that ready for surgery, because obviously they cut your belly button either side, but I was actually cut in my belly button to the outside, and I was cut. I had an incision site on my left hand side and down near my pubic bone. So I didn't have both sides. I was kind of like my belly button here and here. So that's what I had cut, like incision sites, so they could get the cameras in there. So I remember going into surgery and them saying to me, I remember saying I was afraid to wee because I was really busting to go to the toilet. Sorry, my belly's still a little bit sore.